There's a lot of people who talk about passive income, and we'll talk about passive income because I think that's the biggest scam on the planet. The idea of passive income in and of itself is a lie.
You're the first person on the podcast to say that.
bro. Yeah, no, like everyone goes, oh, I want passive income. Well, of course you do. Everyone wants passive income, but tell me how you're going to get it, because having tenants is not passive income. Ask anybody who has tenants. It's fucking headache, right?
Yeah.
If I have a house XYZ, I got to make sure it's looked after, not broken into, the electricity's on, it's cleaned. I got to get someone on the ground. My assistant's got to deal with it. Now it's just got to be something to deal with. And once I got a bunch of money, what I really wanted more than anything was freedom. There's a bunch of these real high-level crypto guys, you know, like the guys who invented Ethereum and all that, the autistic guys. They don't own anything. And I kind of get that. I'm at the point now where they have a backpack of their possessions, and if they want a house, they rent it. They want a Lambo, they rent it. If I need to go somewhere, rent. I don't own anything. I don't have any hassle. Nothing's in my name. No government can take anything from me. You know, you get to a point of wealth where you kind of start thinking, do I want to have all this crap now I got to deal with? Really, you want peace of mind. And I have enough troubles in my head. I don't need to be worried about my mansion in Santa Monica, which has been broken into. And I don't even go there. Do you know what I mean? It's just long. So that's that. And then also what I was saying earlier about property being a tool to the matrix. If you buy a $10 or $20 million property under a government, you can't piss that government off. You can't disagree with that government. You can't, if the tax authority of that government says you owe them money, you better fucking pay it. Or you're going to lose a house, right? Yeah. If they say you better take an injection in your arm for the good of society, you better take your vaccine. You better put your mask on. You can't even get a parking ticket, my G. Listen, if I'm in England right now, I don't own any assets in England, right? And I pull up in the DBS. Have you ever seen James Bond look for parking? Me neither. No, fuck no. He parks up and gets out. That's what I do. Park up, boom, get out. I don't look for parking. They put a ticket on the DBS. Let's say I decide not to pay that, right? What are they going to do? I don't have any assets in the UK. They're going to make a bunch of letters, send it to a bailiff. Bailiff's going to drive around the UK. I don't even live here. Boom, it's over, right? If I had a 20 million pound house, eventually it's going to go, the 60 pound becomes 120, 120 becomes 240. Yeah, bailiff comes, $2,000, $3,000, boom, boom, boom. Gets to the point where they're going to take my 20 million pound house off me. Maybe it takes 3 years, but they will, over a parking ticket. So by buying that property, you're now giving you're giving the government a way to hurt you. You're giving them a leverage over you. And I'm at the point of wealth now. I have enough hidden money where I don't want any government to have any leverage over me. I want a government to say, Andrew, we don't like you. And me say, get fucked. Safe. All right, I won't come then. Bye. And that's the problem with property. Property is a tricky one. I know you can make money with it, but you have to understand that they'll use it against you, man. It's a leverage. So,
but let me ask you though. I completely understand the whole concept of coming out of the matrix and stuff. Yeah. But for what reason? Like, what's the end goal? Like, where do you see your life in terms of in the future?
I'll tell you why. I always knew I wanted to escape the matrix before I escaped it. And let me tell you why. If COVID has not woke people up in the last 3 years, I don't know what's wrong with you. The government came along, closed your business down by force, forced you to have a medical procedure you didn't want, made you stay in your house and cover your face because of something with a 99.9% fucking survival rate. They come along and literally broke every single rule. They broke the Geneva Human Rights Convention. Every single law that they wrote themselves, they just broke them all under the guise of safety. More people committed suicide from mental health issues, or more people died from missed doctor's appointments for real diseases because of this crap. They came along and did it because they were told to by someone above the government, because the government's not even in charge of anything. And now they've gone back to normal. Everyone thinks they're not going to do it again for some other reason. You think across the next 30 years they're not going to come back with some new shit? Fuck them. Next time when they come along with this crap, I'm out. I'm bouncing. See ya. When they did this, I went to Sweden. Sweden was open the whole time. Yeah. Sweden never locked down. I was in clubs in Stockholm while everyone else was here locked in their houses clapping for the NHS like a jackass. I was in the nightclub. No masks, no vaccine, no lockdown, nothing. Running around with Swedish chicks. So I just run to freedom, right? But if I had, let's say, a big property within the UK, I can't just say, fuck the UK.
Yeah.
So once you escape the matrix and you try and find a way to get your wealth outside of the system, then you can exist geographically anywhere. And once you can do that, then laws don't really apply to you. If they made a law in the UK I was unhappy with, I'd just leave. And if they made a law in Romania where I live I'm unhappy with, I would just leave. I don't have to be a law breaker. I don't have to be a criminal. I'll just go somewhere else, right? So property kind of ties you down, things tie you down. And if you look at the real high levels of wealth, if you look at the billionaires and stuff, they're trying to do the same thing. They don't own anything. They have a share in a company which owns a shell company in the Cayman Islands, which owns this subsidiary of a company in Dubai, which owns a boat that they can use.
Yep.
It's that Aikido. It's the same thing. Get out of the matrix. That's what everyone's trying to do, right?
You know, I was going to ask you this later on in the podcast, but it seems like a good time to ask you now, yeah? You obviously, I want to initially do this podcast in Romania. I thought it'd be sick coming to your house.
Yeah.
You know, but every time you're trying to arrange something, you're on a jet flying off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Next places everywhere. So I thought, you know, while you're in the UK, we do it here. But what's your reason for moving to Romania? And do you own the house in Romania then?
Yeah, so the house in Romania is owned by a subsidiary of a shell company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And I moved to Romania because it felt more free than the UK in certain aspects. And it is. In certain aspects, it's certainly more free. You're always, as an individual, you always have to make a trade-off. And the trade-off is usually between laws and the strength of the government and the judicial system and your safety. Right? This is the usual trade-off. So Dubai, which I love and I spend a lot of time in, the judicial system is extremely harsh. The laws are extremely harsh, but it's very, very safe. I'll accept that trade. If you give me a powerful government and a powerful police force, but you give me my safety to wear a $5 million watch, I'll take that all day. But you have countries like America and England where the judicial system and the police are dangerous and they can mess you up at a whim, but they don't even give you your safety. So now I have to be scared of the cops arresting me for no reason and the criminal killing me. So they don't even give me a fair trade-off. So in my view, if I'm going to live in a country with a strong judicial system and a strong legal system, I want them to provide me my safety on the street and the safety of my family. And if they don't do that, I don't see why they're seen as so strong. There's countries in Africa and Southeast Asia, et cetera, where the judicial system's a joke. Then fine. The streets aren't safe. The police ain't doing their job. That all makes sense to me, right? But when the police are going to come along and mess you up for not wearing a mask or catch you for speeding and wreck your life, but they can't even offer you safety, then fuck them. So I decided to move somewhere else. And there are countries in the world where there's a really interesting, delicate balance of a government and a police force which are not strong. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying I'm breaking the law. I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying that minor infractions or tiny things are not going to be, I'm not going to be persecuted to the end of earth I would in the UK for a parking ticket.
Yeah, it's mad because they literally say in the UK all the time, people get caught more for speeding and shit like that than people getting caught for stabbings.
100%, right? And this is what I even said. Like in Romania, you don't get parking tickets. You just fucking park. You just dump the car, nobody gives a shit, right? So it's just a different way of life over there. But at the same time, Romania and a few other countries in the world, a lot of them are in Eastern Europe, they have a strong morality because they're very religious countries. So although the police are not seen as a strong police force, they're not like the English police, they're not as well funded, they don't have as fast cars, whatever. Yeah. It's actually very safe because people just have a different view of life.
Yeah.
So it all adds up. So I moved there purely for small things, bro. Kept getting parking tickets, kept getting this, that, a letter. When you're living in the UK, bro, you get a new letter through your mailbox every day. Someone wants money for something. You did something wrong. You had some fun. HMRC. Yeah, you were breathing that day. Give us money. I was just like, fuck, why am I here? Bounced. Yeah. So I just left, and I had really good friends in Romania. I went to visit and ended up staying.
But why not Dubai? Because me personally, if I was to move anywhere, I'd probably go to Dubai.
I understand. I completely understand that. That's a good choice. And
because the only thing we've been, like, us boys, we've all here probably been caught speeding, especially my man here. Yeah. And that's the only thing, they don't really give a shit about speeding like that. They'll pull you over, say, why are you speeding, all that. But the second you commit a proper crime, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know
and I respect Dubai. I really like Dubai. And like I said, I even have no problems obeying every single tiny law down to speed if you're going to give me my safety. But if you cannot offer me my safety on the street, then I think that you've failed as a country and failed as a judicial system. And I don't see why I should have to comply with any of your rules. That's the basic understanding of it. So yeah, I love Dubai. I spend a lot of time there. And even though I live in Romania, I've only been there since the beginning of this year. I've been there less than 2 weeks. So I'm never home anyway. So for me, it's just a base. It's just somewhere to park the cars, right? So it is what it is. I'm always jumping around because once you have a jet, you can time travel. So you're time traveling all the time. So
is the jet yours, or how does the whole jet lifestyle work?
A shell company owns a subsidiary to a company which owns a jet, which I can borrow. I don't own anything. Hello, everyone on YouTube. I am broke. I'm a brokey. I don't own anything. You can't take nothing from me, HMRC. I don't have anything. I'm poor. I go to fucking O2 down there. They won't give me a phone contract. I ain't got nothing. I'm broke. I just get to borrow these Bugattis. I got really good friends. So, but yeah, like once you can fly on private planes, you can time travel. So that changes the entire scope of the world. Yeah.